You're tuned in to a Grown Folks production.
In the mix
With the commish, Nate.
Hey now, welcome into a special edition of Grown Folks Live. That's right, we have been trying to do one of these for quite some time. We finally have an opportunity to do one. We usually do these on Friday mornings, but it just has not lined up. And we've got so much information, it is time to jump into it. We're trying to get back in the groove of creating more videos, more live streams. Me and my guy Pootie T are going to be trying to do that more and more with lots of gaming news dropping. And with that, let me welcome in my co-host for today, Mr. Pootie T, live and in person. There he is, friends. How you doing, Mr. Pootie?
Doing well, man. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm going to ask for one little favor because it's moved.
Okay.
Move your camera down a little bit because right now just your chin is at the bottom. There we go. That beautiful flow. This guy's got beautiful flow, doesn't he? I'm so jealous that I wish I had flow like that. Pootie, there's a lot for us to talk about and unpack. Let's talk about one though that you're not like super into, but there's so much information that's coming out, and we're gonna get over here and put it on the screen. It's gonna be the new NCAA 25 game coming out from EA Sports. They have had 2.5, 3 years, maybe longer than that, to work on this game. If there is anything that I expect to happen whenever I touch this game, it is the fact that they've had 3.5 years to make this game. It should be freaking rock and rolling. It should be perfect. We should be ready to go. You and I talk about this on Grown Folks Lives in the past, but really this idea that games would be so much better if they just took 2 cycles to make them. Every 2 years, you pump out a new game. And we know it's never going to happen for games like Madden and maybe Call of Duty, things like that. But this game is definitely having that. It's coming off brand new. It is going to use the same engine, but brand new code. Everything is in depth. Have you seen anything about this game? Have you looked into any of it?
I watched the reveal trailer, I think they did a few weeks ago. I've seen that. I haven't really looked into a whole lot about it. I really don't really have a lot on it that I've noticed because I don't plan to play it. But
I plan on playing it though.
It is good that it's back. It's good that it's back. I know, what was it? 14 was the last one.
Yeah.
Was that
10
right?
years ago. Can you imagine that? 10 years ago. Your daughter was just an infant.
They've had plenty of time. They've had plenty of time to do something with it.
Yeah, plenty of time. Listen, we're going to be pumping out news really concentrated around Dynasty. So if with Madden, it'll be CFM, NCAA will be Dynasty. That's what we do here. That's what we're good at. There's a lot of other places to get all the other information. So we'll touch on gameplay. We'll talk about some of those other aspects. There's a brand new kicking system that's going to be implemented. It will not be in Madden 25, which kind of sucks. That's sort of out there. A brand new passing mechanic also will not be in Madden 25, which really, really sucks because I hate the passing in Madden 24. There's going to be, they're bringing back the meter shake, like the crowd shake. So that's coming out. Your freshman quarterbacks are going to have all kinds of mix-ups. They can't call audibles. Your receivers won't know. I love that way of approaching sort of momentum and crowd and a young player outside of the way that Madden does it. I just hate the way that Madden does it. I just feel like it is super disconnected. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's like an attempt at giving us what the college system is going to do. But I'm super pumped about Dynasty. 32-man Dynasty. You can create complete custom conferences, so you really have all the custom features that you need to make that real college experience. They've went to 150 different stadiums. They got the music. They got the graphics. They got the mascots. Like, they got it all. It sounds super great. There's going to be 3 different announcing teams that you can listen to, even though I usually cut that stuff off pretty quickly. The presentation is supposed to be there. The music, the sort of engulfing atmosphere that you get with college that you don't get with the pros, it's all going to be in there, and I'm super pumped. Today's show's got to be a little sharp, by the way. Poor Pootie had some technical issues. Work went a little late for me. So we're going to be a little shorter than normal, but this is one of many that we plan on doing. We're even going to try to start getting back to doing some like pre-recorded videos that we pump out about news. There's finally news. I feel like we started pumping out a ton of videos early, And then it went like deathly quiet for 2 years. It was like there's actually just nothing to talk about except for rumors and hearsay. And there's plenty of other places to go do rumors and hearsay. NCAA 25, we've already got one dynasty league that's up and rolling. I missed out, and I also don't know if I want to play in that one. I love Maniac. He's going to be running it. He's my dude, but they're doing like any teams. And I'm just like, something fun about like all taking lower teams and sort of building them up instead of these really great teams. I don't know. I'm still sort of deciding, but there'll probably be 2 or 3 other dynasty options if you're interested here. And again, this is the first of many streams. My next one that we're going to do, we'll dive a little bit more into the gameplay, talk about the passing mechanisms, talk about the kicking mechanisms, talk about some of the abilities that we've seen. They've got stackable abilities, which sound kind of a neat way. I hate sort of the X factors and the abilities. This is not supposed to be that. It's supposed to be a much more simpler, stackable system. There's even going to be transfer portal. And so just like we have in the real NCAA, there's going to be, you're going to have to re-recruit your team. There's going to be kids that are transferring. It's going to be a ton of fun to looking into, and maybe we can get this guy here to come and play a couple with us. We'll have to see what we can do. Let's talk about Madden really quick, and while we do that, let me get over here and put up some Madden website. It's not a ton on Madden. We do have the brand new cover athlete. Do you ever get into the cover athlete stuff?
It's not really. It's been a really long time. I did see it was McCaffrey, right?
Yeah, it's going to be McCaffrey. Yeah. Do we believe in the Madden curse?
I don't know. I don't know that it's necessarily a curse, but playing in football, you have a likelihood of getting hurt, and he especially. He plays all the time. He's one of the few running backs that you see on the field constantly all the time anymore, and he's running. He's catching the ball. He's running the ball up the gut. He's just a stout dude, and I enjoy watching him play. I'm not a 49ers fan, but I do enjoy watching a physical player like that play football.
So here are the rumors that we're hearing, and some people debate that these rumors are even true. Here are the things that we absolutely do know. Christian McCaffrey, cover athlete. Usually they tie cover athletes to some maybe new thing that they're revealing. There's going to be no new passing mechanism. There's going to be no new kicking mechanism. At least that's the rumors, even though I'd love to see that kind of stuff. Give us that kicking, like make kicking an actual skill, please, Madden. It is not a skill. It's full timing. I absolutely hate it. But what the rumors are is that because Christian is the cover athlete, that was very intentional because there's going to be a new running and tackling mechanism that those both are going to feel very, very different. Some of the rumors out there, Pooty, are that we're going to have 3 announced teams. So that's something brand new for Madden that we haven't had in quite some time. And though gameplay itself is not going to change a ton, if really any, outside of the new tackling mechanism, which it better be good because this year's was absolutely terrible. We are going to get a ton of presentation. So the rumors are that there's going to be a brand new draft system. And when it comes to the presentation, the system itself is probably going to stay the same, but the presentation, there's supposed to be announcers, supposed to be kids coming out for jerseys. We'll see. These are all rumors, and we're supposed to get a brand new presentation for the actual game. My hesitation is that usually when we get presentation things, whenever it goes to online, they take away all the presentation stuff. I don't know if that's because of lag or server overload. They usually take away all the presentation for online leagues, and that's going to be what we really care about. What is happening for the CFM? So if they do have a brand new presentation for drafts or brand new presentation for games or brand new announced teams, how much of that is actually going to trickle down to the CFMs? I know you don't play Madden anymore, but that's how you and I got connected. If you had any sort of desires for Madden, what would be maybe the 1 or 2 things that you would hope to see?
I will always go back to this until they do it. Physics-based tackling. Physics-based across the board for everything on the field. That's one of the main reasons why I quit playing, and I'm not going to return playing Madden until they do that. They probably never will. That's fine. But they say
that this year's supposed to be more physics driven. We'll see what that looks like in execution, but that's the rumors.
Yeah. I really hate the animation dice roll determining outcomes. One of the reasons I like playing shooters, unless there's like desync or something, you're pressing the button, it's happening. That you have control over what you're doing in the game. Whereas I still feel like the animation based thing is just a dice roll. It might do it, it might not, and I'm just not a fan of that when it comes to playing games. So to me, that would be the biggest thing. But I don't expect to see that. But like you were talking about with Christian McCaffrey being, the cover athlete. If you remember last Madden 25, is what they called it. It was the 25th anniversary. It had Adrian Peterson was a running back on there, and they had brought in True Locomotion. They called it, I think, is what it was called.
Yep.
And supposedly you had footwork and stuff like that didn't really pan out like they said. But so I think you're right. I think with him being the cover athlete, you're going to see something along those lines of new ways of running, cutting, and all that stuff.
All right, let's get off the stuff you don't like talking about. Let's talk about the stuff you do to talk about. Let's talk about PUBG. These amazing patch notes for 30.1, which is dropping on June the 12th. I don't even know. That's today, right? So I guess, we get server maintenance today.
PC.
So that's for PC. So next week for PlayStation.
I guess. I really didn't even look at the dates after I saw this.
Oh, June 20th. There it is. It's right in front of you, Nate. Use your eyeballs. So June 20th from 1 a.m. to 9 a.m. Why it takes them 8 hours to it's just mind-blowing. Anyway, EA, they got it figured out. They throw out an update every 5 minutes. You got to completely restart the game. I think PUBG is one of those games that just has a special place because of being like one of the foundational battle royales. The gunplay, like we have no aim assist, like there is more strategy in that game than I think a lot of other first-person shooters. Technically, this is not a first-person shooter; it's sort of all of them, but a shooter, a battle royale. But man, they do some weird stuff. And I get it. It's not aimed at an adult American audience, but tell me about these patch notes, because just the video, the thumbnail in the video just makes me want to throw up. Like, what is this guy? What is he holding? Like, what is in his hands, right? What are we doing?
I don't know. I've never heard of this group called New Jeans. I guess it's some Asian female band. So the skins are based off of them, and that's what the season pass is going to be having to do with. As far as an update, they're not really doing much of anything. They're changing all the SMGs to have 9mm instead of 45 round ammo. I didn't know that. So are they taking 45s off all the games? I don't think so. I think the Winchester still uses 45.
Oh, okay.
And some of the pistols, I think, probably still will, just not the SMGs. And the MPK5 will be put on all maps. That is another small part of the update, because they're going to put that on all the maps.
I want MP9 on all maps.
And the other thing was, I think they said bullet damage on SMGs is supposed to drop off after 50 yard.
Which I'm fine with. That's fine.
But other than that, there's not really much else in this update. It's pretty lame. They're doing new rewards for ranked, but they're stupid rewards. It says tickets
the worst.
And stuff like that.
Some people say the worst ever.
Yeah, so it's not really a whole lot going on there. Still holding out to see what they do with Unreal Engine 5. They mentioned it in their earlier in the start of the year, part of the roadmap for this year involved Unreal Engine 5, but I still don't think we actually will see it until next year, but still holding out hope, so who knows.
We can sort of pull in the last update too, which gave us sort of destructible ground and with a pickaxe or a C4 or grenade or whatever. The most useless thing to put time into. Like, I understand the concept and the direction, but we've seen it. I've seen like maybe 2 matches out of the last, 50 that have had anyone try anything, and it's very underwhelming. It just felt like a waste of time.
Well, that reminded me of another thing. They said that they were improving the thing that they added last update where you can pick your teammate up and hoist them up. So they're improving that to where you have you don't have to stand right on top of your teammate to get it to a trigger. So to make that easier, and they're supposed to be able to throw you up higher. So we'll see if it makes it any more useful. I don't think it will, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm about to say another gimmick that I've seen used 0 times. I've seen us try it, but use it 0 times.
Yeah.
Let's transition a little bit to the new battle royale. I know that you've been super pumped about this one, and you've even played it. I think you've played it. I'm pretty sure you've played it. Maybe I've got that part wrong, but I've seen a couple of different videos about it. Trying to put it up real quick, and just because I want to, I actually can't find the link for it. It is called
Off the Grid.
Off the Grid. I almost said 0 something, but that is not it. Off the Grid. It's coming out here very, very soon, and you've been following this thing for a while. They've got a phone app, like a phone game, connects to like a wallet that you can earn things. Like they're like creating a whole sort of environment for this game. So for people who don't know about it, fill us in a little bit.
Okay, so this game is a battle royale, and it is made on Unreal Engine 5. One of the lead directors of this game made the movie Chappie and District 9. I don't know if you've seen those. Those are kind of like alien
District 9,
movies.
yes. Chappie, never even heard of it.
That one's about robots. Both of them are really good. Anyway, the guy who directed those is directing this. This is a battle royale that also has a storyline built into it to where you can go places and you can do missions that go along with the storyline, and you play out the storyline. So there's supposed to be 60 hours of storyline built into the battle royale, but it's still part of battle royale. When you're doing the mission, when you're like in cutscenes, they said you can't be killed, but when you're doing the missions that you're sent on, other players in the battle royale can kill you. So you can still be, interacted by other players. It's supposed to be 150 players in every match. A lot of people get this confused when they read stuff about this game. It's not an extraction game, but there is an extraction element in the game. But you don't extract your player out. Right? You find these boxes, they're called hex boxes, Hex. You go to these extraction points in the map and you have to call in something to come extract it, and you have to basically defend that area while you're extracting it, right? So what those hex boxes are, you extract them out of the match, and that way if you die in that match, you still get to keep those items that you found. Then once you're out of the match, you can go and unlock what's in that box, and it could be a weapon, it could be limbs like an arm or a leg. In this game, all the people have artificial arms and legs, and each one has different attributes. So it kind of reminds me of Apex. If you remember on Apex, each player has different skills, whatever. That's kind of the way the arms and the legs work. They give you an extra skill, basically, and you can extract them out. Once you unbox it, then you can call them in. You can make loadouts and call the loadouts in, stuff like that. So it's a battle royale. I can't really say anything outside of what they've already announced because I have signed an NDA on that. I did get in on the PC version last weekend, but I'm not very good with mouse and keyboard, but that was kind of tough. But it was interesting.
How long did you get with
it? I really think it's going to be the next battle royale, the big one.
Yeah,
and it's going to be the first Web3 game that I think makes it. What's the word I'm looking at? Not popular, but I guess popular is the word. But it goes out, and it's not just crypto people involved. There is crypto involved with this game. You don't have to have any part of it if you don't want, but they do have their own cryptocurrency called guns that they have created. That goes back to what you was talking about earlier with the wallet. And like I said, you don't have to interact with any of that if you don't want to, and still can play the battle royale. It's free to play. But the part about it that's interesting is where it's the way that they're making it. Any games that they make in the future, the items that you collect from this game, you will be able to use in other games. So the idea of Web3, for those who don't know, it's kind of the point of it is to try to give players actual ownership of the stuff that they purchase in game. So it's not like, Call of Duty that just announced, yeah, all your skins that you got on this last Call of Duty aren't going to transfer over to the next Call of Duty, right? Well, with this, everything that you purchase, you can use in future games made by them that's tied in with this system. So it's a neat aspect, and there's not been any real Web3 games that became really big and popular because most of them aren't any good. I think this one has a real good shot because it's going PC and consoles. It's only on current gen consoles. They're not doing last gen, so it's not being held back because of that. And I think they've got a really good chance to really kind of break the doors open for Web3 gaming and show what it can do if it's done right.
Can you say how much time you had with it?
Just a couple, maybe 3-4 hours. I just got in last weekend, and I spent most of my time trying to figure out how to get my PS5 controller to work so I could use it, and I couldn't figure out anything. I tried different tutorials that I saw, and none of them worked for it. But a lot of people said they can use Xbox controllers, but I don't know, something wrong with the PS5 controller not working with it. But anyway, but it's, I put this in the chat, in the main Grown Folks chat the other day. Anyone who's interested, I put a link to their Discord. You got to join their Discord. And then I put a link to where you can apply to get in the console testing that is coming this month. So in the next couple weeks, they're going to start their console testing. So anyone who's interested in Battle Royale, I highly recommend that you go and you join their Discord. You sign up for the playtest. It is a questionnaire that you can fill out. It takes 4 or 5 minutes to fill it out. It asks you a bunch of questions. But if you're interested in getting in and trying out and helping test the game, help them, they're taking the feedback that people are giving them and trying to adjust things. So jump in there and see what it's like and try to help out and help make it a better game than what it already is. So.
You and I watched a video about that game. It feels like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I remember watching the original video, like the trailer of like what was like, it was just like, what is this? What's coming out here? So it's been in production for quite some time.
Yeah, I don't know if it's been 3 or 4 years it's been in production, but I've first heard about it about 2 years ago, and I've kept up with it ever since. I've been in their Discord since last September when they were advertising early access. So it's good to see it's finally. It was kind of questionable because they were kind of silent when they didn't do early access when they said they were going to, and they didn't say anything. So people started kind of questioning, but they finally have started to come around, and now they're letting people see what they've done. And like I said, I can't talk outside of what they have released themselves, but it's supposed to come out fully launched this year. But they said the playtest will be running from now until it fully launches. So if you get access to it, you'll be able to play it between now and until it fully launches. So I recommend anyone who wants Battle Royale to sign up for it.
Let's talk about another game that you've been super pumped and you've played a lot, and I think there's no NDAs for this one as far as I know, and that is Undisputed. We're finally getting a boxing game. This game also has been one of those games, it's like the information, then it went silent for a while, and then all of a sudden it kind of came back out again. I think this one is also in early access, but going to be released soon. It's got the largest roster ever, they're saying. We see it here on the screen. Muhammad Ali, Canelo, Tyson, Terrence, like big time game. You've played it, I think, early? Didn't you play it early? Have you played it recently?
I played it a few weeks ago, just messing around with it. It still has work to do, so I'm interested. I think they said it's going to release on consoles in October, and so they I think it was this year they finally added where you can create your own character, and then you can go through like the career mode and try to build your character up and win titles
Yeah,
and stuff.
they've got it listed here. It says our long-awaited seventh and final update and early access is here, bringing you career mode, character creator, and fighter select customization, and much, much more. So it sounds like in the early access, which is only on PC right now, that you can do this.
Yeah. Yes,
Was it?
Yes.
Was this
and
as
like I
big
said,
of
it's
an
supposed to drop in
issue?
October.
Was this as big of an issue with the controller, or was this one a bit easier?
No, anything on Steam, I can use a controller, but the other game off the grid is on Epic Launcher, which is a different thing.
Right.
And for some reason, it was just an issue there. But yeah, I use the controller with this on Steam. Some of the player movement, as far as punching and stuff, felt a little stiff, I guess, at times. And one of the things I didn't like about it, and this was I haven't really played it a whole lot recently, so I don't know if the last update fixed this. But every time, at the end of every round, it would show each boxer in their corner, and you get a close up, and like you might see a little bitty scratch over dude's eye, and that's it. Like I'm like, this is a boxing game. This dude's face, we just went 12 rounds. His face will be beat up, But they've, like you said, they've scanned all kinds of professional players. They've got it. They've done a lot of work from the ground up. I don't know. They haven't really specified this, so I don't know if there'll be like a way to do an online league, like you do a career mode. You can do that in single player. I don't know if they're going to add an online league or something like that, but I feel like that they probably will. But even if they don't, if you can just play online, we could, if it was interest enough in the community, we could easily set up brackets, and stuff like that, and have people, we can have fight night on Friday nights or something,
Yep.
And have live
Especially
streams
like
and
during holidays,
and
we
stuff.
could do tournaments. There's all kinds of fun. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm sort of dreaming big here, but like, if we could find a belt that's fairly cheap, like champion could have the belt shipped to them and they get to hold it. There's like all kinds of fun stuff that we could do.
Yeah. So it's just nice to have an option of having a boxing game sometime soon. So, um, I feel like they still have work to do, and hopefully they'll get that done in the next few months. But even if it doesn't launch perfectly, just to be able to have that again, I think would be good. So,
Do you know what the price is on it? I can't pull it up here. Do you know what the price is?
I want to say $29 is maybe what it was.
So it's not even that
a little less
expensive.
than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you still have early access?
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, it looks like they fixed a ton of bugs recently. It didn't list anything about the boxers in the corner. Let's talk about another game that you've played. I have not. Again, he's a PC gamer, so he's got his laptop. I am a Mac guy, so I can't do any of this PC gaming stuff. So he gets to play all these things on Steam that I cannot play. But Maximum Football, you've also played that. Mm-hmm. Now they've released another iteration of that. I don't know if they're calling it a beta or an alpha. I don't know what they're calling it exactly.
I think they're calling it a beta. I think
it's not early release. I think they're working towards early release. They too plan on being released PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 5. But they just recently, in the past week, have released all kinds of new updates, new graphics. I've even watched a couple streams and posted about a couple of streams that were out there in the last 48 hours or so. Overall, it feels like the game is definitely progressing in the right direction, but you can tell the difference between a AAA studio that's making NCAA, Madden, EA Sports, or whoever the actual studios are, and then a more independent, smaller studio that's trying to create something. You like the direction, you like the foundation that you have, but from everyone that I've watched play this, and there are some people crazy excited about it, everyone sort of says the same thing in that it sort of feels like a high school project that someone is working on, and like they've made this playable game from scratch that anyone can pick up and play today, but it doesn't feel crazy smooth. It doesn't, just graphically, it's got a long way. The movement, the interaction of the players has a long way. I know you specifically talked about passing and the passing mechanism and the catching, and sort of it's not super duper smooth. From what I've watched, the pass blocking is really good. The actual running and the fluidity of running is good. The pass trajectory looks like it's been working on. The ball is beautiful. It's not a ugly game at all. The face mask thing weirds me out a little bit. It's sort of, every quarterback I've seen is wearing gloves. Everybody's got these weird face masks. So it's like, it's got a more gimmicky, arcadey feel to it. But the actual passing, catching sort of animations are still really weird. And the actual tackling and change of direction is super blocky, super not fluid. But you've played it. Have you played it recently? Have you played this one? Give us just your overall thoughts about where this game sits.
Well, I agree with most of what you just said, actually. I mentioned to you months ago about the passing thing. They have improved it. It is better. It still has work. It still doesn't feel... In the past, it was almost like the ball looked like it was going 10 yards over your receiver's head, and all of a sudden he would catch it, and it just was weird. It's kind of disorienting, really, because you're trying to run after this ball, and you guys caught it magically. The running is stiff, and that's the best way I can describe it. It's not fluid, it's just stiff. The tackling, even when I go back to what I said with Madden, physics-based, I enjoy, but if you're running on kickoff, several times I would run my guy down the field to tackle the guy, and he would go to the right, and I would try to get my guy to the right, and he would go right through the player. He wouldn't tackle him; he would go through him. So there's things like that definitely need to be worked on. The running player movement is stiff. The passing is better, but still needs to be smoothed out. Like I said, the pass blocking is good. One thing that I think that they really nail, though, is their presentation.
Yeah.
I think it is extremely crisp and clean and looks really good. And I honestly think it's better than Madden's. From what I have seen of Madden in recent years, they are on point with that part. Their presentation stuff is really good. That they really need to focus on getting the player movement better, and to make it more smooth, get the tackling to feel more responsive and smooth. Now I've had plays where I had big hits and it felt like a big hit, it looked like a big hit. So that was nice to see, as far as that goes. So
it's almost like, from what I watch, I got something on here right now. Like you can see in this pass right here, right? It's like, whether it's change of direction, some of the tackling animations of the passes, it's almost like the game misses frames. Like the frame rate drops super low and it gets blocky, and it's like we're missing something here. It's not fluid. Like you can see here on this pass. Try to get back up here. We see here on this pass right here, like it feels like it's missing some movement there. I want something is missing there that you can't quite put your finger on. And some of it looks crazy fluid, but then let me just rewind this past the pass right here. We'll watch these runs. He just skipped ahead 2 yards. Where'd he go? I don't know if it's a performance issue, if it's an animation issue, but I like the direction they're going. My question is, can they made a big leap from what they were years and years ago when they were Doug Flutie football where they are today. Can they make another big jump, right? Where's the next big step? Like the direction, I like their idea, and their idea was we want to create a game that becomes a sandlot for creators where you can step in there and create whatever, college, professional, CFL, complete custom. That sounds really that would be a fun side league, right? Maybe not a main league because guys who like the NFL want to play with NFL players and teams, but it's a fun little side thing, And we used to have that in the OMFL many years ago when Madden was on PC and you could really customize it. This feels like it's moving in that direction, but they have a long way sort of to get there. And I also think any competition's good. This is one thing I didn't say about NCAA. But though Maximum Football is not competition to EA and Madden at all, maybe one day it can get there. Hopefully one day it can get there.
Yeah.
Hopefully NCAA becomes internal competition for what Madden is doing and just forces them. It's so hard to figure out. Like, it feels like a lazy take for me to say that they were lazy and that's why Madden has fallen off. It just feels like a lazy take to have. But clearly there's a story being told there. And I'm hoping that when NCAA and that fan base and those sales, there's going to be real numbers, will help kind of push Madden into their next direction. And hopefully all these games that we've talked about, finally, it feels like we've turned the corner, Pooty. You've said it for years now. What are we, 5 years deep, 4 years deep into this cycle?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Yeah. You've said it almost from like month 6. Like, when are we going to get games made for these consoles? Because we're not tapping into their power at all. And here soon, you're going to try to sell me a new console, and I'm not buying a new one if you're not even finishing this one. It feels like we're starting to finally turn that corner. You're starting to see games that are like, sorry, we're not making it for the old gen. We're just making it for the current gen. Madden's still holding on to that, but from what I understand, NCAA will not be on the old gen. And hopefully all of these games will continue to use the power that the new consoles have, the Unreal Engine 5 that's out there that everybody's using, and just like continue to push and give us new games. We didn't get to talk about it today because of the time issue that we both had, but on the next show, I'm going to talk about the new shooter. It's like the first person cam. I already forgot the name of it just because I want to mention it today. Body cam, right? Like, so there are games out there that are using these technologies, and a lot of independent games that are starting to come out. So hopefully we just see more and more and more. You and I have talked about it a bunch, but I remember the games where you could go to any video game store, Blockbuster, whatever, and there's a wall of video games. There's 50 football games to pick from. There's Madden, there's 2K, there's NFL, there's like 30, there's a college baseball game, a college basketball game, a pro game, there's hockey games, there's boxing games, there's 50 race car games, there's 20 different shooters you can pick from. I don't know why we have better technology, better access, and yet we've got way less games and options. So hopefully this is sort of starting to turn the corner a little bit. As we put a bow on the show, let me see if there's any chat. Oh, we got one. We got old Kevin. What's up, Kev? Kev said about PUBG that we got to get them to fix the crashing. Your camera's falling again. Come down a little bit. He just keeps all they see is the head behind the curtain right now. Now we got you.
Or maybe my chair.
Oh, it might be the chair. Yeah, my chair goes down all the time too. I'm like way down here. I'm like, what's up with my chair? I got to get it back up. Yeah, there's a lot of options starting to come out. A lot of cool options for us to start to look at. Put a bow on the show. Hopefully this is one of many. I'm also trying to twist his arm to record some stuff offline, send it to me. I'll edit it and get it posted. But we're gonna try to start. If it's FPS, if it's like a battle royale, we're gonna produce news around it. If it is a sports game, specifically football around CFM, dynasty mode, any kind of league things, we're going to create news. Or if it's a new game, like a boxing game, a Maximum, something like that, we'll create some news. So we're trying to get back into the habit now that we've got some new news dropping. But put a bow on the show as we get you off to your family.
Well, like I said, anyone who's into Battle Royale, if you're in the community, come join us at playing PUBG. We still play pretty much every night. Go sign up for Off the Grid. I really recommend that you do that. That playtest will start in the next couple of weeks on consoles, and maybe you'll get into that. And we've got, so like Nate said, we've got several opportunities that looks like on the horizon of new leagues that can be started. If you're in the community and you're interested in running one of them, please let us know. We're only 2 people, and we can't really do all of it ourselves. But we have lots of opportunities coming up of new things to get involved in. So reach out and get involved, and let's see what's coming up.
And we twisted somebody's arm to take over the golf. That thing is still rocking and rolling, and so we're slowly starting to build it up. And we
Polo doing a good job.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. And we've got new games to talk about that we didn't even talk about today. So not only Body Cam, but X Defiant, which you played and absolutely hated, but they've launched, I think officially, I'm pretty sure it was an official launch.
Yeah, I've actually played it since it launched. I don't really hate it. I just don't really like. They've
Arena
improved that
shooters.
game a lot since the beta that we played. It's a lot smoother than it was. But it's the game modes are team
Yeah.
deathmatch and
Arena shooters.
escorting this robot
Yeah.
and stuff, and I'm just like, eh. But it's okay. It's not bad for a free game. But
One of these days we can
I don't
unpack.
really play it.
We can unpack the Tim the Tatman question of does every game need a battle royale? Dr. Disrespect, who's creating his own game, he says yes. You say yes. I think yes. There's a lot of cool games, and there's I think one of these shows one day we're going to unpack what happened to H1Z1, what happened to Super People. Like there were some super cool games that either didn't evolve and sort of just died off, or that just never got off of the ground for whatever reason. And I don't know if we are seeing it or not, but it feels like maybe a little bit of people are starting to decide, okay, extraction shooter may not be the thing. And it looks like we're getting these new twists on extraction shooters. So whether it's this new one that we talked about today, whether it's like Gray Zone, that's like a different take on extraction shooter. Like there's different takes on the extraction shooter genre. And I'm just interested to see how it continues to grow. Like Dr. Disrespect's game should launch this year or maybe early next year. That's sort of it's a battle royale, but you could extract if you want. It's like you have some options. Valor out of nowhere. You and I played Valor 2 years ago. Vigor. Yeah, played Vigor 2 years ago. I super got into it. You got bored with it pretty quickly, but that is also starting to catch people's eyes. So I don't know. We've got some new things on the horizon, and it feels good to actually be able to talk about some of those.
Yeah, it's about time.
Yeah, it's about time. All right.
I will say I called Extraction years ago when they said it's going to be the next big battle royale, and I was like, no, it's not. It's never going to be. This is not. You can't appeal to enough people with that game mode because you're literally trying to hide. Most people who are playing it are trying to hide, and that's one of the reasons why Call of Duty is as popular as it is the majority of people like action, not hiding.
No, you're right.
I mean, it appeals to some people, no doubt. There's a genre for it and a niche for it, but it's a lot smaller than what people thought it was going to be. But I called it when they first said that. I was like, it's never going to be that big, never.
It's just an interesting way of looking at these games and I what happens in 5 years from now. And Tim the Tatman has again, we're unpacking it now. I don't mean to, but Tim Tatman has an interesting take that we've been playing arena shooters for 40 years. All right. There's been arena shooters from day one and people still play them today. There's brand new games like X Defiant that are coming out that are arena shooters. And yet the battle royale mode's been out for 10 years. And so it's we've only been doing this for 10 years. What's the next new beautiful battle royale? And it's we just need to see it. Somebody just needs to create it. And hopefully somebody's working on it.
I think it's coming out. I really do.
You got to sell me on the futuristic thing. It's why I avoided Apex for so long. It's so hard to sort of get into the futuristic, the body limb thing. I'll play it because y'all are playing it, but it doesn't appeal to me. I do enjoy the very realistic, very military sim shooter. That's what got me into shooters. I still remember the Tom Clancy's back when they were PC games, and I would go to my computer. I had friends that owned a computer store, and they'd have 20 computers on LAN, and we'd put 10 people on one side of the room, 10 people the other, and we'd play Tom Clancy. It's just that military sim realistic shooter, which is why I play PUBG with its terrible graphics, its terrible player movement, and all the crashes in the middle of a battle royale. All those things that annoy me, it is still super realistic, super military sim strategy. Even with all their stupid skins and stuff that they sell. So anyway, all right, Pootie T, let me let you out of here. We're going to do this some more, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button. If you're not part of the grown folks community, if you're an adult who games and enjoys this hobby, come check us out. We got a group of people that are playing the games that you enjoy. And if not, I'm sure we can start a group. So come give us a holler, give us a look. And if you're looking for FPS shooters, if you're looking for, CFMs, Dynasty, that kind of news, make sure to hit the subscribe button, the like button. I'm Nate. That's Pootie. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace.
Later.
Smash that like and subscribe.